Yeah, we're living at a place on the mid-north coast of New South Wales called Bonny Hills, just south of Port Macquarie. Fiona and I moved up there earlier this year to be closer to family, and really we've been in Canberra for 28 years, and in some ways it was time for change. Well, in moving, we've moved to what people call kind of the lifestyle capital of Australia. We've moved to a beautiful beach where people are there really because they are wanting lifestyle, and the great temptation for us is to get sucked into that. And as I've looked at the scriptures, and in particular Revelation 3, just being reminded of the dangers of wealth and the dangers of self-sufficiency. And I need to keep vigilant about living for eternity, not living for now. We need to trust God rather than trusting the things that we put in place for our own security. Our whole climate, the whole tide of our culture is saying you've got to make yourself self-sufficient. And that's the air that we breathe. And we need to see where the challenges are. So being honest with income, tax returns, being generous and willing to give sacrificially, using our money, resources, time for the sake of eternity, and not simply the needs here and now. These are things that we've got to be vigilant about it, and that means stock taking regularly, and it means having God speak into our situation. So opening the scriptures and just asking each day, God, how should I honour you? How should I live for you? Look, I've been delighted seeing men and women being encouraged to get into ministry, to think through what's going to be involved, to plan for the long haul, to be able to examine themselves and ask questions about their suitability and how God's equipped them, what might be challenging, what might be difficult, where they can use the gifts that God has given them. And Geneva helps with that. And we need people who are aware that ministry is a whole of life. Ministry will be tough. We're following Jesus who suffered. And I think that Geneva just helps us to deal with some of that realism before we get into it. It's a bit like when someone's preparing for marriage, they're starry-eyed, and you can do all the kind of marriage preparation you want, but once you actually get into it, it's good to have been well prepared, and then to have people kind of coach you and work with you in those early years. And that's what Geneva's doing with church and with outreach, evangelism, ministry, and we need it. Very thankful.